Hi, welcome back for part 2 of the Confucian PowerPoint. Like I said, make sure that you read the Smith textbook, the Confucian chapter in the Smith textbook, and also the Novak information. Novak gives excellent examples of each of those 5 constants and 4 virtues. So just make sure that you know what those are for the test. Okay? All right, so the key component, obviously, to these constants and virtues is that it starts in the family unit. It starts with the individual within the family unit. So the notion of filial piety, which means if everyone knows their place in their family and who gives respect to whom, then that can be extended to outside of your family, to your community, where you also know who gives respect to whom, right? And then you essentially would be governing yourself through a recognition of the benefits of knowing exactly who you are and giving each other proper respect and having proper behavior due to this ethical code. All right. So it's like an extension of the family unit in terms of respect, right? All right. So by embracing filial piety, then you are taking the initial steps towards the other constants and other virtues, because one is subjecting yourself to a policy of behavior. And once again, that does not involve self-interest or selfishness, right? It does not elevate the self. In fact, it humbles the self. You're making yourself humble to those who you allow for more respect. So even the heads of the household, the head of the family unit, who gets all the respect, the father, is expected to be humble, and in this case, to the heavenly energy, to Chan, right? And then, of course, outside the house, the father will be humble towards other people in positions of respect and authority, right? So no one is above the observance of filial piety in accordance with righteousness. Even the president of the United States, or even the greatest person in your community, will be humble in front of the Qian, the heavenly energy. So everyone is aware of being humble, okay? Now, in terms of government and control, because remember, he was a government official. He witnessed all of this political intrigue and political infighting. He said, let your evince desires be for what is good, and the people will be good. So the relationship between superiors and inferiors is like that between the wind and the grass. The grass must bend when the wind blows across it. So he basically said it extends even to the government, where you should listen to the people. If you're good, the people will be good. We need a lot of that in today's government, right? Or even today's government officials. All of that, the blinders on and only kind of being one way is really problematic. Listen to the people. Filial piety and all of the rest of the constants are informed by Ren, R-E-N, Ren, which means benevolence, but it's basically the key to our humanity. What makes us human? That is Ren, or benevolence. Benevolence isn't love. Benevolence is more like empathy, right? It's not an active thing like kindness, to be kind, you're actually doing something for someone. It's more like empathy. What is it that makes one basically human and understands what is right and wrong and instinctively leans towards the right, towards the generous, right? Confucius says it is Ren that is part of the silver rule, right? Whatsoever you do not want done to you, do not do to another, right? Confucius came up with that first before Jesus did, which Jesus called the golden rule. Kind of makes me think that maybe Jesus was aware of Confucius, or at least his teachings. Who knows? Because Confucius was 600 years before Jesus, right? He also said, it is when you go abroad to behave as everyone as if you were receiving a great guest, to employ the people as if you were assisting at a great sacrifice, not to do to others as you would not wish to done to yourself, to have no murmuring against you in the country and none in the family. So it is almost as if the behavior that you show to the public should also be the behavior that you show to your family unit, and should also be the behavior that you show to yourself. So that's why it says, when you go abroad to behave to everyone as if you were receiving a great guest, you're always kind, you're always virtuous, you're always generous to the guest. Well, how about doing that to your family? How about doing that to your elders? How about doing that to your family members, right? So it's like, it's as if you are hosting a guest, but really have that same sort of respectful behavior, all the time, right? So by adhering to these precepts in accordance with the rituals which encourage them, which is all of these proper rituals, actually Novak has some good examples of that. You attain a state of Junzi, literally Lord's Son, which means a superior individual, and also translated frequently as gentleman. So if you adhere to this ethical moral order, if you are aware of your position in society and are respectful and are respected, you can call yourself a Junzi. Okay, a gentleman, because you recognize the order of the world, you recognize your place in it. You are not the center of the universe. You are just a cog in a larger, greater order, right? Confucius also understood women also in need of instruction as well, though his society didn't really allow for it formally. There are writings in the Analects where he does say, women, you're part of this picture too. It's not all about men, right? In general, though, in terms of filial piety, women would show greater respect to the man in their life, even though children and those who are, you see the parents as mothers or even older sisters, you would also show them respect, regardless of whether you're a boy or a girl. All right, so remember, the keys are filial piety. The thing that kind of makes Confucianism a religion is that notion of Qian, or that heavenly energy. That's the thing that we all should show filial piety to. Just remember to go look at the other books in terms of the greater understanding of these notions, right? And then you should probably know the Biography of Confucius as well, because I probably will ask about that. Okay, I will see you later, and look forward to reading your assignments and your discussions.